Friends, welcome to workout number 4. Again, I suggest that you follow in order as we are building from 1, 2, and 3. So you're on number 4 today. Again, this entire workout can be done with dumbbells. Just a quick little review. We are moving in the planes of motion. Planes of motion is where it's at. So keep in mind that we're going to go over the last little circuit that we did on workout number 3. So that'll be like kind of like our first circuit, and then 2 and 3 circuits after that. All right. So let's get started. Let's roll those shoulders up, back, and down a little bit. Roll through your neck, roll through your wrists, ankles, joints, every joint you got in the body. And then we'll clasp the hands behind the back, open up the chest. All right, as a reminder, I have a full warm-up / like mobility flow on the on the YouTube channel. So if you wanted to, and if you need something a little bit more extensive as a warm-up, go ahead and pause this right here and get your ass over there. No, just kidding. Go ahead and take that when you need it. All right, so that little mobility flow should feel nice. It's a nice warm-up. I'm going to give you the abbreviated version right here, right now. Let's take the hands behind the head. Let's take a nice big deep breath. We're going to hip hinge and then zip the hips forward. Push the butt back, zip the hips forward. Keep in mind your body weight, your actual body, should be right between your right and left foot. Alrighty, really think about digging those heels down and pushing the butt back. You got a few more here, and I want you to stand taller every single time. Stand taller. Push the hips under the shoulders. Push the butt back. We're going to take it into a nice big squat in 3, 2, 1. Deep exhale. Sit into it. Maybe see what's going on in those legs. Oh, that feels so nice, especially if you've been at the desk, traveling, commuting. I know it's hot, but should you take this months from now and it's not so hot, maybe we want to warm up those hips a little bit. Dig into it. All right, last few. We're going to take a walk out in 3, 2, 1. Let's walk it out to the top of the mat. Also keep in mind, just because it's hot outside does not mean that our bodies are warm in the sense of like what a warm-up is supposed to do, right? The warm-up is really supposed to prep and prime your muscles. Right? It's like you reviewing for a meeting before you go in and do that big presentation, right? The big presentation is your workout. But we all know that you're not just going to walk into that room and present to potential investors or for the promotion, etc., right? You're going to do all the things that you have to do before that to get yourself prepped and ready, right? So that's what your warm-up is, right? Right here, we're warming up the glutes, warming up the core. I got a little lift and a little out here. And then from there, we're going to make a nice big hip circle. So open up the hips. Whew. Switch directions on that hip circle. And then we'll switch sides. Kick that heel up and then take it out. Nice deep exhale up and then take it out. Nice big deep breaths. And then we'll make a nice little hip circle. All the way up, out, and around. You can switch directions on that. Up, out, and around. Perfect. Then from there, my friends, we're going to flip right over and we're going to get into a glute bridge. Now, go ahead and take a moment to maybe massage that lower back to the mat. Make sure your feet are firmly planted to the ground. So my heel, big toe, little toe, driving down, press those hips up, slowly lower. Exhale, dig, press, slowly lower. 2 things to keep in mind here is that you don't want to arch through the lower back. So can you see how I don't have space? I have space here. And then some folks will try and get to the top of the bridge there. Actually pull the belly button in, tuck the booty under, and then release. For years, and I mean like maybe even a decade, I was doing glute bridges wrong. And then I got into fitness and I was like, oh, got it. Let's take one more big deep breath. Exhale, drive those heels down and then slowly lower. Bring the left leg to tabletop, right leg to tabletop. Arms up, nice big deep breath. We're going to go opposite. Exhale deeply and then come on in. Thumb tries to meet down to the ground and then come on in. You want to add a little spice, push the knee away, come on in. Exhale, push the knee away, come on in. I got a little extra spice for you. You're going to take one side, exhale, connect, exhale. So you got a lot of different chances to spice it up. So same knee, same side, then switch it up. Nice big deep breath. 1 or 2 more in 3, in 2, and rest. Now I'm going to rock myself forward. I'm going to maybe stretch out my hips, and I'm actually going to focus on my hip flexor today. So I'm going to tuck that back toe under, scoop the pelvis under, and then I'm going to slowly press those hips forward. And then when that feels good, I'm going to switch. Tuck the pelvis under, push the hips forward. And then when that feels good, I'm going to push through this front leg. And I am going to take some reverse lunges. Drive that heel, press it. All right, nice and easy today. Deep breath. We're getting right into our first circuit, which, as a reminder, let's switch legs there. As a reminder, the first circuit today is circuit number 3 from workout 3. And the reason is, I think we only got to 2 rounds. So I want to make sure that we're ready to go. All right, let's get into it. All right, so if you need that recap, I'm going to give you a quick little recap right here, right now. You're going to take a lateral lunge. Now, if you have both weights, you can opt to take both weights to the side here. I'm going to step the butt back, nice long spine, push this knee out, and then I'm going to stand together, okay? So I'm going to set it up, push the butt back, core tight, so you see from the side, and then stand up nice and tall. Today we're going to take anywhere from 6 to 8 on one side, 6 to 8 on the other. We have a renegade row and then the bicycle. All right, grab those weights. Let's get moving. As I always like to say, this ass isn't going to lift itself. Let's do it. Let's push that butt back. 6 of these. Nice and long spine. Dig the heel down, big toe, little toe. And make sure you're pushing that knee out. Now, if you have a lot of flexibility in your back, what you're going to find is that you're going to want to arch here. Still tuck the pelvis under. Push the seat back. The weights go straight down. And then you come right back. Once you get through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's shimmy on over. Let's take it to the other side. 6 to 8. 6 to 8. Now I focus on exhaling because a lot of us are doing those like chest breaths, that shallow breath, and we got to get deep with it. All right, once you release your 6 to 8, whatever you do on that first side, you're going to come on down to the renegade row with me. Now, the renegade row could be done in 2 different ways, and I talked about this on the workout number 3. Number 1 today is going to be full renegade row. I set my feet out nice and wide. Hands come directly underneath me. Pull the hand towards the hip, and then release. What we see often in the renegade row is that this weight wants to go straight up. So I don't even know how you guys do it, but it comes like here. Honey. Place that hand to the hip. Place that hand to the pocket. Open up. The renegade row is a back exercise. Yes, your core is on, your legs are on, but it is really a back exercise. So make sure you're pulling your hand towards your hip and lock the shoulder down, okay? Focus on your hips. The weight will come up, but what I see a lot is that the hips open up. So focus on those hips. Hips are nice and square. Squeeze your butt, reach the heels back, get the hand to the hip, then release. Exhale, then release. Anywhere from 6 to 8, if you can, lighten up that release. Once you get through 6 to 8 on one side, move that weight over. And the goal is that you're doing this with me. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We're doing it together. Big pull, release. Nice big pull, release. 6. Okay. Now, if you really want to feel your core in the bicycle, do it with me right now. Okay? I promise you, this is the one. You'll set it up. Legs are going to come to the hollow hold position. Elbows are out nice and wide. You're going to pull your knee in just to about 90. Exhale, rotate, then extend the leg and take it right back. Pull the knee just to 90. Exhale, try and get the elbow up to the knee. Rotate, and then come back. 6 to 8 on each side. All right. So oftentimes people do the bicycle super fast and they're just like thrashing around. No, we want to feel this. This is a core. This is an oblique exercise. You want to feel this in your obliques. The obliques move in the fashion, right? We want to move the muscles in the fashion, in the way that they are. Okay. So hear me out. If my obliques wrap, then I'm going to exhale, wrap, a little rotation, and then come back. And then come back. Exhale, and then come back. Now, once we pull the knee up too high, where am I rotating? I can't rotate anywhere because my knee is already here. So try and get that knee to parallel. Try and get both your back pockets to the ground. Once you get through 6 to 8, we're taking it from the top. All right, slowly come on up. Make your way up to the top. We'll take it back to those lateral lunges. Let's get 2 rounds here. So we just did 1. We're going to get another round that should equal about the 3 rounds that we should have done workout 3, and then you're adding it on to workout 4. And then we're going to move on. Okay, 6 to 8 on these. Let's roll those shoulders back and down, chest up. You have the option as well to get those weights up here. So that is another option. I'm going to step my foot back or to the side and then push off. Keep the toes pointing forward. That's something that I see a lot, is that the toe wants to turn out. And then we're putting our knee and our hip in a really funky position. Nice big deep breaths there. You got one more. If you can make it, let's do it. And then let's gently switch sides. Shimmy on over. Walk yourself over. Nice big deep breath. All right, stand up nice and tall. All right, so we've got, again, we're working in different planes of motion. Today, this particular exercise is in the frontal plane, right? Imagine if you had a wall right in front of you and you were doing this exercise up against a wall. This is the frontal plane, okay? So tapping back into the planes of motion. Then we'll set it up for our renegade row. Now, the renegade row is essentially in the sagittal plane. Reason being is it's kind of like a bicep, bicep curls front and back. This is kind of the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and pull that weight back. Take a nice big deep breath. Feet come out nice and wide. Set yourself up for success, right? So I want to take my feet out wide. That's going to open up my base of support. And just so you understand what I mean by base of support, think of a stool, like a bar stool. Bar stool has 3-4 legs, and it's really high up. And the legs are kind of really close to each other. And it's really easy to just, boop, knock it over. Now you take his chair down a little bit. The legs are a little bit wider. That chair, a little bit closer to the ground, is going to be more stable than the bar stool. Can we see that? So if my feet are in a plank like this, that's going to be less stable than if I open up my feet nice and wide in the plank for the renegade row, because we're going to take off one base of support, right? One hand is going to come off the ground. So I want to open up that base of support. So when you hear other coaches or anybody talking about that keep that in mind, right? A bar stool is going to be less stable than a nice low chair. Exhale. And switch it up. Take a nice big deep breath. 6 to 8, 4 to 8, depending on the weight. Alrighty, then from there, we're going to set up for my bicycle. I love this little bicycle. Be nice to the bicycle, and the bicycle will be nice to you. Alrighty, let's take those legs come down to the hollow hold. Nice big deep breath, hands behind the head. Use that exhale, pull your right knee just over the hip, not any closer, so it should be 90 degrees. Exhale, rotate, and then extend the leg out. If you want to feel your core on the bicycle, slow it down. Exhale. Good, crew. Slow it up. Exhale. Yep, don't resist. Okay, I want you to actually resist the urge of bringing this knee too close. Too close. Then you're not giving your core a chance to actually do anything. Good, one more. I'm feeling it. It's heating up. Whew. And you can rest. Beautiful. Let's set it up for our second circuit today. Second circuit, you're going to grab, I'm going to suggest grabbing medium to light weights. I'll demo with both, but if you have the option, let's go in the medium to light range, and I'll tell you why. We're going to work on a little rotator cuff work today, so I want you to roll those shoulders back and down, soft bend through the knees. I'm going to come up to a half curl. I'm going to rotate out in and then release. Now, this particular exercise is going to be in the transverse plane because it breaks all those other ones, right? It's not straight forward and back. It's not straight side to side. It is going to break those. Okay, so palms up, knuckles up, rotate out in, then release. If you see from the side, I'm only coming up halfway. Rotate out in and then release. Now, I absolutely could do this with a heavy weight, but what I do not want to see is a body roll to get the weight up. So out in, release. All right, so if this is too heavy, right, so the stuff that you're using for your legs, if it's too heavy, that's fine. We can opt to work with something a little lighter or get 1 or 2 reps. The purpose of the rotation is for you to feel your rotator cuff, all right, on both sides. Beautiful. Now, once you get through that, we're going to set up for the high lunge. I talked about the high lunge a little while ago and like work out maybe 1 or 2 as an option to the reverse lunge. It's an excellent option, especially for folks that may have some knee injuries. Hint, hint, wink, wink, me. but it is an excellent option. So let's break it down. I'm going to start with my feet about hip distance apart. My hands are going to be here. Now, if you take yoga or bar, you may be familiar with the high lunge. You may not even know that you're familiar. From here, I'm going to shift my weight over towards my right leg, and I'm just going to slide my left leg back. All right, I take a hinge through the front of the body, and then I'm going to stand up tall. Watch from the side so you can see what I'm saying. Shoulders over the hips. I'm going to slide one leg into the high lunge. Now, keep in mind, if I brought this back leg in, I'm in a deadlift. Can you see how you're in the deadlift here? All I'm doing is just sliding that leg back, right? Hips are still square, so you don't want to open. Hips are still square. Digging this heel, because you want to get the standing booty, and then stand up tall. Can you see how if I just brought that leg in, it would be a deadlift? All right, so let's take that. We're going to set it up. We're going to grab both of our dumbbells. Now, if you only wanted to do this with one dumbbell, I would suggest going heavy, and I would suggest having it on the leg that's going to slide back, right? So it's going to give you a little level of instability. Let's do it. All right, so I'll do a few facing you. Pick your stationary leg. Roll those shoulders back and down. The weights are going to go straight down, okay? So just slide one leg back and then stand up. Slide the leg back and then stand up. Resist the urge to lift this front heel. Watch from the side, shoulders over the hips. I slide the leg back. I stand up tall. Again, excellent glute option for those that may not like the squats or the deadlifts or don't like the way they feel on the knees. Anywhere from 6 to 8. And let's switch sides, okay? So once again, I'll start facing you so you can see I'm just sliding one leg straight back and then standing up tall. Don't get on the tightrope. Don't you do it. Don't do it. I don't know when you're seeing this, but there's a video going around on TikTok and on Instagram. And it's this woman who's a farmer and she's trying to educate us on all the things, you know? And then there's like an emu, like an actual bird emu, and his name is Emmanuel. And she proceeds to yell at him because he likes to take center stage on the camera. And she's like, Emmanuel, don't. It's the funniest thing. It might not be your sense of humor, but for me, I got a good belly laugh out of it. Alrighty, folks. Driving through that heel anywhere from 6 to 8 or 4 to 8, depending on if you're new to this. You can also do this one body weight, so don't feel like you have to go crazy on that one. Once you're done with 6 to 8 on each side or 4 to 8 on each side, we're going to take travel squats. This one, I want you to stay low the whole time. You're going to try and get anywhere from 8 to 12. All right, so we're even, okay? So I'm going to try and get maybe 2 and then 2 back, all right? Let's do it together. Drop your butt low. I want you to imagine you're going under. If I drew a line on your screen, go under that line. Okay, let's do it together. Drop the seat. 1, 2, come back. 1, 2, that's 4. Yep. That's 8. If it feels good, let's go for the 12. Why not? Keep pushing the knees out. Yep. Dig the heels down. 1 and 1. Beautiful. That is moving in the frontal plane, right? Because we did not go forward and back. We basically moved like a crab. Okay, that's my MC Hammer. All right, let's do it again. Round 2 of circuit 2. Let's grab those weights. You have that half curl and then release. Again, if you have the option to go heavy, I would go medium if you have options. If you don't have options, work on a bicep curl or a clean, okay? Let's roll those shoulders back and down, palms up, rotate out in, then release. What I love about this exercise, you're working your rotator cuffs, and the goal here is that those mid to low traps, right? You're still going. So back here is helping you get that rotation, but we're not getting the rotation through the ribs. We're not popping it. Listen, you can pop it. You can lock it, you can drop it. But when we're working out together, let's not. Elbows tight to the body, crew, as if I had let's say a little towel right between my elbows. Squeeze that towel as you rotate, all right? Keep those elbows to the side, rotate. Now I'm working with 8s, and I can feel that little rotation. And the main reason is your rotator cuff is a series of small muscles. They're not big. So when you're doing rotator cuff work, you don't have to go heavy, right? Because they're small muscles and they will fatigue quickly. Once you're there, we can release. Now, This one, the high lunge, might be an exercise that you send over for form feedback. I'm going to do this one again with you, just facing forward, and just a few rounds body weight so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to hinge at the hip, and then I'm going to stand up tall. Hinge at the hip, and then I'm going to stand up tall. I want you to think as if you're folding. Folding at the hip, boom, stand up tall, boom, that's it. Deep exhales. As you exhale, you're pulling the belly button in and up. You got maybe one or two more, depending on how many you're doing on each leg. And rest. Good. Yeah, you can switch sides when you're ready, right? So I'll do them on the other side so I'm nice and even with you. Hip hinge and then stand. When you're coming down and you look at your feet, make sure your big toe is not up. Big toe's got to be down, little toe, heel, and then stand up tall. All right, try and stand up taller and taller every single time. Yep. Good. Again, I look like I'm like folding and then coming right back up because I am. In 3, in 2, and rest. Now, can you see how that is in the sagittal plane? Because all we did, kind of like a bicep curl, is in this plane. All right, now we're going to move in that frontal plane. I know, you're like, I don't really care. But you have travel squats. I'm trying to teach you guys things. 3, 2, 1. Take it at your pace. You could do this body weight, or you could do this with a weight here. If you wanted to, you can keep it right here. I love a travel squat. It's going to get the inner thighs, outer thighs. Let's keep pushing the knees out. Yep. If you're with me, let's take 2 more. Whew. Let's take 1 more. And woo. Okay, let's shake that out. Let's set it up. Our last round of those bicep curls to the rotation. Okay, so last round. And then we're going to set up for that high lunge. I'm going to do it with weight again. And then we're going to set up for the travel squat. All right, so don't be afraid of this last round. This is when the magic really happens. Let's grab those dumbbells. Do what you got to do. I'm using kettlebells, like upside down kettlebells. But no matter what you're using, be mindful that your wrist is staying nice and straight. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what's happening. Roll those shoulders back and down, chest up, core tight. Squeeze that booty up to 90. Rotate out in, then release. All right. Now you can see my goal here is not to let that happen, right? You can see how we want that, right? Let's not. Boom. Out, in, release. Exhale. Out, in, release. I know, I stress the exhale because you guys are not breathing. I know you're not. I can feel it through the camera that you're not. And I want you to. Okay, and rest. Alrighty. Now let's grab those dumbbells. For real though, for someone that I like absolutely suffer from anxiety, and I'm a very active, maybe overactive, maybe a little bit of a nervous person, if you will. The deep breath is everything. Obviously, it's your lifeline, but it is also your, like, the easiest ticket to feeling relaxed and feeling just overall better is just getting a couple of deep breaths. If you can get 5 deep breaths when you're not focusing on a screen, when these deep intentional breaths, whew, there's nothing better. Good. Dig that heel down. Big toe, little toe. Push the butt back. Last 1 or 2. Alrighty. And from there, let's switch sides. Stand up nice and tall. Switch it up. Let's take a deep breath. Roll those shoulders back and down. Tap that toe back. Zip those hips forward. Tap the toe back. Zip those hips. We only got 1 more circuit after this. And a little core. That's it. Yep. Make sure your big toe stays in contact and really make sure this front knee pushes out. Once again, if you were going to take advantage of the form feedback, this would be one of the exercises that I would suggest sending over, okay? Once you get through the same amount, 6 to 8, again, always feel free to pause me. If I'm moving at my pace and you want to move at your pace, pause me. We good? No hard feelings. Let's roll it over or walk it over. 3, 2, 1. Drop your butt. And I want you to try and stay under something the whole time. Whoop. Again, you can opt to grab a weight, but don't get sloppy. Nope. Good. Push the knees out. Knees out, knees out. Chest up, chest up. Dig the heels. And when you're done, you're done. Beautiful. Anywhere. Again, hopefully you got your 6, 8, 10, 12 of those reps. Alrighty. So we're going to move on to our final circuit, and then we'll be doing a little bit of core. The final circuit today is a plank drag. I want you to come back to what we talked about with the feet as a stool, right? The stool situation, because you're gonna be moving this weight side to side. So take your feet out nice and wide. Drop your base. Think of like a lower chair, wider stance on this one, okay? Then we're gonna take an alternating step out squat. I love this one. It really ties it into the inner thighs. And lastly, we're gonna take a close to wide row. Great combo for your postural muscles. Excellent combo for your back. And it is gonna challenge you because the wide row is gonna be a little bit more challenging than the close grip row. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so I would start, if you've never done like a plank drag through, I would start with a little bit of a lighter weight. See how this feels first, and then you could start to add a little bit more weight, a little bit more complexity. So we're always gonna set ourselves up for success. My hands are gonna come directly underneath my shoulders. The feet step out nice and wide. Now you're in this good base. As you can see, my weight is behind my left wrist, and my shoulders are locked down, my hips are square. I'm gonna move that weight with my right hand, bring it over towards my right side, then place the hand firmly down, and then take the left, move it over towards the left. Keep in mind, you wanna pull the weight. You don't wanna push. We're gonna pull today, okay? So when that means if you're looking like from below me, if the weight's on my left, I'm gonna grab it with my left, I'm gonna move it over, place it down, grab it, move it over, okay? So if you can get anywhere from 6 to 10 on these, go for it, okay? If you're feeling extra spicy, maybe you add a push-up. Maybe, right? Why not try it? All right, so I would add, if I was feeling real spicy, and I mean like extra jalapenos, I would drop it here and then push, and then I would go back to it, okay? Keeping those hips nice and square, and then find my push-up and press it up. Again, you don't have to, but if you want to start to combine some of the things that we've been working on, that's a great place to do it. You're going for, again, 6, 8, 10, and if you're feeling crazy or if the weight's really light, try 12. Once you get through that, stand up with me and grab both of your dumbbells because you're going to go for a step out squat. Okay. Now my weights are going to be right here. I'm going to step my right leg out. Boom. Weight is in the middle. Bring the legs together. Step the left leg out. Not to be confused with the lateral lunge. Right? Your squat is right here. Weights between both. Press the hips forward. Stand up nice and tall. Step it out. And then press those hips forward and stand up nice and tall. Again, not to be confused with that lateral lunge like we did. This one you are going to alternate. Ideally, you would have space to alternate. If you do not have space to alternate, you're just going to go one-sided and then the other side. Deep breaths. Pushing the butt back, core tight, chest up, and chin should should be parallel to the ground. Alrighty. Beautiful. Anywhere, again, depending on the weight that you're working on, it could be anywhere from 8 to 10, 6 to 10 reps. Now, we're going to move to this next exercise, and I'm demoing everything and really talking heavy about it, and then we're going to just kind of move through it. This next one is going to be the close grip to wide grip. So I'm going to show you with light weights, but then I'm actually going to do it with my big boys. If I turn to the side, I'm at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to hinge at the hips, long spine, right? Don't let those shoulders curl forward. I'm going to row. So I'm going to pull my elbows up nice and close. Hands are close to my hips. Then I flip the palms, take it wide. Now, we've done both the narrow and the wide. So don't act brand new. As my mother says when I come back to New York after being in Miami, she'll be like, don't act brand new. I'm like, but I do every time. Anyway, let's push the butt back. Nice big row, flip the palms, elbows wide, flip the palms. Now, if I were to count, I would count the combos. That's 2, that's 3. We're gonna go anywhere from 4 to 6 on those combos. One thing that I absolutely see all the time in training folks with the row, they wanna bop. And I'll show you what it looks like. They wanna be like, boom, boom. And I'm like, why? Yeah, don't do that. It's unnecessary. If the weight is too heavy, if you feel like you have to jerk the weight around, the weight's too heavy. Let's move with control. Let's move with intention. Let's move with focus. Use your exhale. Keep that upper body nice and still. My neck is in line with the rest of my spine as I row, and then I flip the palms. Also, I have to say, like, lighten it up, okay? Lighten it up, especially if you're at the gym and you're bopping. No, we want to see that. I want to see good form. Alrighty, guys. If it feels like too much, you could always, another option, right? So now let's say if I'm working with a heavy weight and I want to go for strength, I absolutely could still do this exercise. What I would do is just place one hand down. I would still take my row, and then I would flip the palm for the wide. Still, you might find I got no bopping, right? Big pull, then release, okay? So again, anywhere from 4 to 8 sets, and that would be one row, one close row, one wide row, close, wide, all right? So that was a lot to say. If you want to swap out and grab those big, I was gonna say big girl, big boy, big people weights, go for it now, okay? So I'm gonna start to move with my heavy ones, my big guys, okay? And set it up, okay? If it felt really easy that first round, that means you either have the option of adding more reps or adding more weight. If you're looking for strength, right, I'm gonna add more weight. I might keep my reps the same, but I'm gonna add more weight, all right? And I think we're all looking to get stronger. Why not? Okay, let's place those hands down, feet out nice and wide. Tuck the pelvis under, long spine. Let's get it. Round 2, go. Big pull. Exhale, move that weight, pull the weight. What's happening with the hips? Yeah, that's the question you want to ask yourself. Now think about it. This weight doesn't have to move. You're not like moving across the country. It's just moving like a couple inches. Don't go crazy, okay? Once you're done with that, folks, you're going to stand up. We have anywhere. You can do 10 to 12 total on these squats. And if you had one weight, it would be right here. I'm going to step out, bring it together, step out, bring it together. Be mindful, your body weight, like the weight on your body, your belly button should be right between your heels. All right, so don't shift. Don't keep your weight on one leg. Drop it so that way your butt's right between, belly button's between, and then power up. I'm dripping sweat today. Whew, baby. I don't mind it. I love it. Good. Dig those heels down. Big toe, little toe. Okay, once you get there, you get there. Now, once again, if I'm working on strength here, I'm going to go heavy. All right, if you're just still working on form and wanting to get that form down, maybe go a little lighter on this one. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to show you again on a diagonal, and then I'll even take it like profile. You got all the options. I'm going to take this nice little hip hinge, roll those shoulders back first. I'm going my big weights. Still no bopping. All right, if I turn to the side, exhale deeply. Knuckles are facing down no matter what's the row. And that was my 4. You can keep going. Roll those shoulders back and down. We got one more round, and then we're going to get into our core circuit. All right, the core circuit, we're going to add a little chop. We're going to add a lot of stuff to it. I really like this next core circuit. Alrighty, let's do this. You're going to learn about how the obliques both rotate and also do anti-rotation, which is amazing, which is what keeps our spine safe. Can you tell I love biomechanics? It's cute. She's cute. Trust me. Okay, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Hands down, under the shoulders. Go for it. Last round. If you're pulling that weight, beautiful. You want to lift it up, even better. Keep those hips square. Now, be mindful that when you are actually pulling the weight, what happens sometimes is we place it higher up, and that means my hands go from where they're supposed to be to like, try and keep placing those hands directly underneath your shoulders. All right, don't cheat yourself. It's going to put the shoulder in an unnecessary position with unnecessary stress. We already have enough stress. We don't need it anymore. Okay? All right, when you're ready, let's come on up. Tuck that back toe. Step up. Stand up nice and tall. Let's get these side to side. Drop the butt. Press the hips forward. Now, I know some of you are afraid to like record yourself and send it. I get it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I will say, as someone that often works out by themselves, recording is an excellent way for me personally, just to see sometimes where the form breaks down. Like recently I recorded myself, this is recent, like not too long ago, and I could notice that in a bunch of recordings on my glute bridge, I was rolling off to the edge of my foot and I was lifting my big toe. And then I was wondering why my knee and my hip is all off. Well, I don't have a firm ground, right? I'm doing these like hip thrusts, heavy hip thrusts, and this foot wants to open up and the big toe wants to lose its base. I'm wondering why things hurt. Hello. But I only learned that because I recorded myself and it kind of like slowed it down to see. So don't be afraid. All right, friends, last of this. If you're there, great. If you're not, let's get there. Big row, big pull. Exhale. Good, nice big pull. Lock those shoulders down, core tight, no bounce. And pull, good, rest, stand up nice and tall. Beautiful. We're gonna move on today, crew. We're gonna take 2 exercises. We're gonna do them for a certain amount of reps today. So go with something medium. You can go with something light if you wanted. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be crazy. I'm gonna take 2 5s. Okay, so we've been working on talking about the obliques. Now remember, the obliques, the muscles is if you put your hands in your pocket here and here. And when we think about the muscle fibers, we want to work them in the way that they move through the body, right? Which is why we do bicep curls like this, up and down. The obliques help us twist, but they also help us not twist. So think of like, oh, my New York City folks. You're holding onto the train and the train stops abruptly and you go, ugh. That was your obliques. You could thank your obliques. Thank you. Okay. And we've all been there. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Bend the knees. Knees right over the hips. All right. Squeezing the inner thighs together. Today we're going to take a huge exhale. The legs do not move. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale everything. Inhale. Now, do you remember we worked on the pullover? Yes. Okay. So that was 1. You're going to do 6 to 8 of these. Now, the challenge on this one is not moving your legs. I want you to think, imagine as if you did this with your legs like up against an imaginary wall, right? Keep them there. Squeeze the inner thighs. Deep breaths. Exhale. Lower back to the mat. Last few. Don't move those legs. I've got 2 more. I know I'm Darth Vadering in your ear, but it's to get you to do the same. Exhale deeply. Drop the heels a little lower. Exhale. Get the knees further away from you. Exhale. Reach. And then come on up. Beautiful. Now, let's come on up. Ooh, that got me good. We're going to work on a halo today. Some folks hate it. I love it. It is a super excellent exercise. But if you want to, go ahead and tuck the knees or tuck the toes underneath. Now, some folks, this sometimes bothers people. It actually bothers me to be this way. So whatever feels good. I like it because I get a little base there, a little support. I'm going to work on a little bit of a diagonal. Elbows are going to be nice and tight. I want you to think the elbows are going to basically stay equidistant the entire time. I'm going around, 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 and then I'm going to lock it underneath. I'm going to go around, 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 and then I'm going to lock it underneath. From the side, the focus here is not moving forward and back too much, right? So we don't want to be like all this. From the front, right, if you're looking, we don't want all of this, okay? We are actively working your obliques. So I like to go heavy because it's going to challenge me. Okay, so you're going to get anywhere from 4 to 6. Let's do it. Take a deep exhale, core tight, squeeze your butt. Elbows stay equidistant. Don't lean back. Don't shorten one side. Don't break at the wrist. None of this. Exhale. Some people will be throwing a dumbbell around and being like, I don't feel anything. Yeah, I get it. Because we're doing all this. We're not hula hooping. Don't move the hips and don't move the rib cage. Lock that down, okay? Keep it tight, tight, tight. Ooh. Take it underneath. Tight to the side. Take it underneath. Maybe one more on each side. Last one. And you can rest. Alrighty, folks. If you'd like, I would run that again. That might feel nice. You could add 2 more. So just like literally rewind a little bit, do that maybe 2 more rounds if you're feeling crazy. If it was too light the first round, you add another weight. But I would run through that core set 1 more time, alrighty? I'm also gonna add an additional core workout so that way you have it and you can have a little fun with that over the weekend. But feel free to send me over any of those form feedback, anything you want feedback on, send it to me, okay? And I will send it over. Some folks have been taking advantage of it, and I'm hoping that that helps them feel a little bit more efficient in their body. All right, I'm Christy, you are you, and thank you for taking class, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.